Andrew answers. And what I want you to do is just pay attention to what's happening here on your plan in comparison to what's happening in the video.
Okay. And how would you describe a three-headed dog? Aiden? Okay, meaningful. Okay, now read the example again. If you wake me up before the alarms go off, you can expect to see Severus. What do you think that means? Go ahead and share and discuss with your partner. 30 seconds.
So here Andrew comes in.
Smart. One eyes. Okay, Andrew, share with us what you got. Okay, very good. Agreed? Okay, now let's move on to how. How do you identify illusion?
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
So what do you notice, especially now
Yeah.
that you've seen yourself and then you've seen your plan?
Yeah, so that wasn't in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why what I said,
Yeah.
like I add sometime I add things in there.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I have them turn and talk, like I always have a share out,
Yeah.
especially if I get a chance to listen to them, and especially if that's really what I want them to get.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not in there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you definitely asked like what I was trying to get at. Like, so you asked them like, what's an illusion? Which is great. Like, you embedded it within the key points. You asked them what it is an illusion. They are able to kind of define it. They did their little turn and talk with this particular type of illusion. Andrew kind of answers the question, and then you just kind of move along forward. Thinking about Andrew answering the question, like, what's missing here to support what we saw in that video?
So Andrew answered before I went over this, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What is it? How is his answer missing?
Yeah. So what needs to be here to best support Andrew's answering that question? Like for your own, like preparation.
I'm not sure. Can you give me an example?
So like here, when we're thinking about like even filling this in, what do you have to do? Like how do you have to prepare to even fill this in? What do you need?
I write what I want to write on already here.
Yep.
So, you think it's a good idea if I were going to write out like what's the possible answer?
Yeah. So we get into it.
Or am I writing in like this part?
So it's mostly because this actually happened. But the thing is, his answer wasn't as high, like, wasn't as in depth. It wasn't grounded within the key points as it could have been because there wasn't an exemplar response.
Okay, got it.
So typically, and I think we did talk about this yesterday with the we do in terms of like our exemplar response is how like we have our answer. It's kind of like with race. We're restating, we're answering the question, then we have the key point incorporated in there, and then the students are finishing to answering it out.
Okay.
And so,
question.
Yes.
In the I do, should I just like not do so much of the sharing? Just like should I just kind of go through it myself?
It depends if it is a repeated objective versus a new one.
Okay, got it.
So repeated, you can incorporate more like more of their voices in it. A new objective, it's mostly going to be you modeling.
Okay.
You do call and response. Those kind of things, but it's mostly going to be you modeling.
Because I don't have the exemplar because I didn't intend to ask, and that was add in, and that's something that I can learn to take out. But I tend to do that
because even though this is, you tell me that this is like a repeated objective, like there's still a student that still needs that somewhere. Like I know that this means this because an illusion, when we look at an illusion, illusions are expressions designed to call something to mind.
Okay, so I'll add it. I know this because.
I know this because that really gets at the what key point.
Okay.
And so when I look at this, I know getting to the how key point.
Yeah, here the Y supposed to go before the house.
Mm-hmm.
And I got it.
Yeah.
Mixed. So when you're right. That way when he answered this, I would already gone over the key point, or I can use it to transition to the key point.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So like, then when I looked at the rest of the plan, then there was like another moment around the 10-minute mark, but just for time's sake, so we can actually get to doing the plan, we'll just look at the plan itself. So here, when we're thinking about the like exemplar response, here in the video, you kind of just said, well, I said this and I said that and I said that, which is fine. However, when you get to the we do, especially when you're trying to use those key points to kind of prompt students to get to that exemplar response, like it has to be like more detailed than what we're seeing here.
More detailed than this?
Yes. In terms of, I know, like, for example, you're asking them to compare and contrast.
I'm not just writing the answer, but I should like write the explanation how I know.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Yes.
Okay.
And so when I think about like your lines, and we talked about like the whole idea of them not like finding evidence immediately to where they're just like, okay, I see this and I know this, so I'm just going to put this in there. Like initially, like, yes, they need to find evidence, but at the same time, we need to model what that looks like by incorporating key points in our exemplars.
Okay.
So, how we're going to kind of make this come to life now, I have your plan for tomorrow pulled up. Do you have your computer?
Yep. Sorry. It's okay. This is my stuff anyway. That's how it looks like at the end of the day.
And I have the little we do doc, because I know that was very helpful in terms of like determining how even these exemplars look like.
So we're at the we do?
We can do it for, let's go ahead and focus on the we do only because it's our big focus for the week.
So tomorrow is writing a summary or summarizing